morning, ladies and gentlemen. The Vice-Rector, Mrs. Eva Śniecka-Tamecka, wished to be able to welcome you all to the College of Europe at Natalie. Unfortunately, she is unwell, so it has fallen to me to bid you welcome on her behalf. My name is Richard Bartwick-Pawlikowski, and I have the honor of holding the European Civilization Chair here. The chair was founded by the European Parliament in memory of the first chairholder, the distinguished medievalist and Polish and European statesman, Professor Bronisław Geremek. Its mission is to encourage our students to take a longer and wider view of Europe than that contained in the acquis communautaire of the European Union. It does this through the provision of a historical foundation for the programme of European Interdisciplinary Studies, which this year is being followed by 137 students from 40 countries and 6 continents. The college at Natolin, which welcomed its first students in 1992, is linked to the older campus at Bruges, which was founded in the wake of the Hague Congress in 1949. It is highly appropriate that this conference, co-organized by Cardinal Stefan Wyszyński University and Teologia Polityczna, on the theme of religion and politics, the cult of Dionysus in the Graeco-Roman world, should take place in this historic and beautiful location, which dates back to the times of King John III Sobieski, the victor of Vienna. Natolin's architecture and landscape symbolize the continuing relevance of antiquity to the Polish aristocracy of the 18th and 19th centuries. The principal room inside the Natolin Palace contains a Dionysian frieze. The park contains a Doric temple and a mock aqueduct. Distinguished guests, on behalf of the Vice-Rector, I wish to thank you for choosing Natolin as the venue for your conference and for making this the journey, in some cases from the other side of Europe, to this snowy forest at the edge of Warsaw, in other cases from another snowy forest at the edge of Warsaw. The Natolin staff will do all they can to make you comfortable. I'm very grateful in this regard to Mr. Jakub Kubica at the back. The program looks outstanding, and I wish you all fruitful and lively discussions. Wszystkiego najlepszego. All the best.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to welcome you all at the Religion and Politics, the Cult of Dionysus in the Graeco-Roman World Conference. My name is Filip Doroszewski, and I am one of the co-organizers of this event. I represent the Faculty of Humanities at Cardinal Stefan Wyszyński University in Warsaw. The other parties are the College of Europe in Natolin, where we are now, as well as the Political Theology Annual Review. This conference stems from a collaborative research project financed by the Polish Ministry of Science and Higher Education within the National Program for the Development of Humanities. The project investigates the place of the cult of Dionysus in religious policy of Roman emperors from Augustus to the end of the Severan dynasty. The research team consists of 5 people. All of them, or almost all of them, are present here today. Could you please show up? Could you please show up? Thank you very much. So, among them are Małgorzata Krawczyk. She's going to talk in a second, but I think she's not here at the moment. Anyway, Małgorzata Krawczyk is responsible for epigraphy and numismatics. Dariusz Karłowicz, who is responsible for philosophy and political theology. By the way, Dariusz Karłowicz is the head of the Political Theology Annual Review. Sławomir Poloczek, who is unfortunately absent, but I hope that he is going to join us later. So he is responsible in the project for historiography. Marek Job, who investigates the figurative interpretations of Dionysus, and myself, responsible for classical philology. I am also the head of the research team. Although the scope of our research project is limited to the given period, we are interested in the relation between the cult of Dionysus and politics throughout antiquity. One cannot discuss the place of Dionysus in the Roman culture without referring to the fundamental role the god played in ancient Greece. This is why we decided to formulate the title of the conference this broadly. We are very happy to have with us today two eminent scholars who greatly contributed to the modern understanding of political significance of the cult of Dionysus had in antiquity. Professor Cornelia Isler-Kerényi and Professor Richard Seaford. Thank you very much for having accepted our invitation. Along with other speakers, they will address various aspects of the conference's general theme. I invite everyone to actively participate in the conference, and I would like to wish you fruitful debates. Also, I have a short announcement on behalf of the College of Europe. So the restaurant of the College of Europe will be pleased to offer you lunch and dinner today. So if you are willing to accept this invitation, please indicate your name and surname on these lists. Thank you very much. And now we are about to start our first session. And we have two speakers in the first session. The first speaker is one of our keynote speakers, and this is Professor Cornelia Isler-Kerényi. Professor Isler-Kerényi is going to give a talk entitled Dionysos, la police, le pouvoir. And this talk will be given in French, but then during discussion you can ask your question also in Italian, German, and French. And so, please, Professor, take the floor.
Yes, thank you. Je commence ici. Yes. Good morning. Je commence par dire merci à Monsieur Doroszewski, Monsieur Karlovitch, pour m'avoir invité la première fois en Pologne. C'est un très grand plaisir pour moi, un très grand honneur. Et je remercie particulièrement pour me permettre de parler en français. Mon anglais serait une peine pour vous de l'écouter, donc je pense que si je parle avec ma prononciation italienne, le français, ce serait assez compréhensible pour vous. Avant de commencer de parler de Dionysos Gigantomachos, ce qui est mon thème aujourd'hui, il faut que je dise deux choses préalables très importantes pour comprendre mon argumentation. La première est que dans mon image de Dionysos qui s'est produite par de longues études iconographiques, pour moi, Dionysos n'est pas le contraire de Apollon, mais Dionysos, il faut le comprendre comme la divinité autre par rapport aux autres divinités olympiennes, mais autre à l'intérieur de la polis. Donc pas en contraste avec la vie civilisée, pas le patron que du monde sauvage, mais une divinité située au cœur de la polis, comme disait aussi Claude Bérard. Le problème que Verdun s'était posé, cette image a été, disons-nous, établie définitivement, je pense, par Vernon en 86. Mais pour lui, il y avait le problème de comprendre comment cette divinité, patronne de la police, pouvait devenir le patron des empereurs, du pouvoir central des empereurs. Je pense que la figure du Dionysos gigantomachos va éclaircir ce passage de la police démocratique au pouvoir impérial. Mon deuxième préalable, qui est autant important, est celui que pour comprendre la civilisation antique, classique, il faut se appuyer non pas que sur les textes, mais dans mesure égale sur les images. Parce que les images sont un témoin de leur propre temps. Les images sont toujours du même temps et reflètent d'une manière directe la mentalité du monde qui les a produites. En plus, le monde antique, comme vous voyez, n'était pas plein d'images comme le nôtre. Chaque image avait beaucoup plus d'incisivité, de pouvoir de communication que les images dont nous sommes entourés aujourd'hui. Avec ça, je commence avec Dionysos gigantomachos. La manière traditionnelle de représenter Dionysos est celle que vous voyez ici dans deux exemples. Un exemple du VIe siècle. Ah oui. Vous voyez ici Dionysos, c'est la première représentation de Dionysos dans l'art athénien. Et vous voyez, il porte aussi le nom de Dionysos. Et il est une personne avec une grande dignité, habillée jusqu'aux pieds, avec ses attributs. Et dans la même manière, on le représente aussi dans les figures rouges du 5e siècle, de la période classique d'Athènes. Donc, c'est cette image de Dionysos que nous rencontrons normalement du commencement du 6e siècle jusqu'au milieu du 5e siècle. En 80-30, il y a un changement radical de l'image de Dionysos. Une image, quand même, il faut le dire, qui ne supplante complètement l'autre. L'autre reste valable dans une certaine mesure, mais juste après 430, avant notre ère, l'image dignifiée de Dionysos change. Il devient un jeune homme, très beau jeune homme, presque nu, dans une position décontractée. Et je suis convaincue, et je ne suis pas la seule de croire ça, c'était certainement l'image de Dionysos sur le fronton oriental du Parthénon, la façade principale du temple, qui a inspiré ce nouveau Dionysos. Vous voyez ici les jambes sont encore conservées, mais aussi toute la figure est là, mais la chevelure manque. Peut-être elle était dans un autre matériau. De toute façon, c'est ce Dionysos qui n'a plus la figure d'un père, mais il est devenu une figure de fils. Donc, il représente la génération jeune des dieux olympiens, ce qui est très important. Maintenant, je n'entre pas dans ce détail, je peux expliquer peut-être après. Donc, Dionysos, mais il y a une manifestation de Dionysos qui reste valable du VIe siècle jusqu'à la période hellénistique et même impériale, et c'est la figure du Dionysos gigantomachos, celui qui lutte contre les géants. Les géants, ça c'est une chose que tous les Grecs savaient depuis l'enfance. Les géants étaient des divinités d'une génération précédente, les dieux olympiens, qui étaient enfants de Cronos et Rhea. Tandis que les géants étaient les enfants de Géa de la terre. Donc, ils représentaient une autre génération, plus ancienne. Et ils avaient révolté contre le pouvoir de Zeus, et avaient cherché de l'évincer du pouvoir. Il y eut une lutte violente entre les dieux olympiens et les géants. Et nous voyons, même par les textes, Dionysos qui lutte toujours et d'une manière très efficiente du côté des dieux et non pas des géants. Donc cela confirme l'idée que Verdun avait sur Dionysos. La lutte des dieux olympiens contre les géants a toujours été pour les Grecs une préfiguration de chaque lutte de la civilisation contre la subversion ou contre la sauvagerie. Donc, pour les Grecs, la gigantomachie était la préfiguration de leur propre lutte contre, par exemple, les Perses, ou plus tard les Pergaméniens contre les Galates. C'est pour ça que le thème, le sujet de la gigantomachie était un sujet préféré pour les bâtiments officiels de la cité, de la police. Et on trouve la gigantomachie pratiquement sur tous les temples grecs qui portent une décoration sculpturale. Pas tous les temples avaient une décoration sculpturale, mais où nous avons une décoration sculpturale, presque toujours, il y a aussi la gigantomachie comme préfiguration de la position des Grecs dans le monde en contraste avec la barbarie. Le premier exemple que nous connaissons est celui sur le trésor des Siphniens dans le sanctuaire d'Apollon à Delphes. Vous voyez ici, c'est le temple d'Apollon à Delphes, et ici, c'est le trésor des Siphniens. C'était un trésor très richement sculpté parce que l'île de Siphnos, dans les Cyclades, était une police très riche. Ils avaient des mines d'argent et donc ils étaient très riches et pouvaient se permettre d'ériger un trésor avec une décoration sculpturale très riche. Vous avez cette décoration tout autour des parois extérieures et sur les deux frontons. Et la première partie de cette frise était celle que le public, le visiteur du sanctuaire, voyez le premier, vous voyez, il monte comme ça, et il passe à côté du trésor de Symphien, du côté nord de ce trésor. Et c'est là qu'est représentée la gigantomachie. Naturellement, elle n'a pas complètement survécu, mais elle est assez bien lisible pour nous. Vous voyez ici, il faut adjoindre, excusez-moi. Vous voyez ici une foule de personnages. Les dieux olympiens et les géants sont tous en grand nombre. Et au milieu, il y avait Athéna, Zeus, Héraclès, qui sont les protagonistes de cette lutte. Mais pas loin du centre, on voit aussi Dionysos, que vous voyez maintenant dans le détail. Vous voyez ici Dionysos, vêtu d'une manière canonique jusqu'à l'époque impériale. Il porte le chiton court qui laisse libre les jambes pour la lutte, et il porte aussi une peau de panthère sur les épaules. Il lutte probablement avec le thyrse qui n'est pas conservé parce qu'il était probablement en bronze. Mais le fait qui est très important ici et qui est nouveau parce qu'il n'y a pas tellement de temps qu'on a réussi à lire la base de cette frise, où l'on trouve le nom de Dionysus, comme vous voyez, Dionysos, et sous l'attelage qui lui appartient, l'attelage de Dionysos est écrit Thémis. Thémis, qui est la divinité de l'ordre universel, du cosmique, du cosmos réglé par les lois. C'est dans la figure de Thémis que se concentre l'idée de la réglementation par des lois. Donc, l'attelage de Dionysos est guidé par Thémis. Vous avez vu la datation de cette frise est une datation historique. On la connaît très bien. C'est 530 jusqu'à 525 avant notre ère. Les premières représentations de la céramique sont plus anciennes encore. Il s'agit d'un certain nombre de fragments qu'on a trouvés sur l'acropole d'Athènes qui appartenaient à de grands vases globulaires très grands, très somptueux, décorés eux aussi par la gigantomachie, dédiés probablement par les céramistes eux-mêmes à leur patronne Athéna dans son sanctuaire principal dans le monde, celui de l'acropole d'Athènes. Et là aussi, il y a plusieurs exemples de Dionysos, mais celui-là est celui qui est moins détruit, mais a été reconstruit d'une façon très crédible. Et vous voyez ici Dionysos, dont se conservent les jambes et la panthère qui l'aide. Et il y a, en dehors de la panthère, ce n'est pas bien lisible, il y a un lion et un serpent qui l'aident. Vous voyez ici, c'est le nom aussi, Dion est là. Donc il est couronné par une couronne de lierre. Et là aussi, Dionysos est représenté d'une façon analogue à la frise des Siphniens à Delphes. Il y a, comme je dis, plusieurs exemples en figure noire du VIe siècle, mais il y en a aussi un assez grand nombre en figure rouge du 5e siècle qui se concentre, ça c'est très intéressant, se concentre dans les premières décennies du 5e siècle, lorsque les Grecs se trouvaient, étaient menacés, se sentaient menacés par l'expansion des Perses. Donc, il y a une concentration d'images de gigantomachie dans les années des guerres persanes. Vous voyez là aussi les éléments de cette iconographie, Dionysos avec le chiton court qui laisse libre les jambes, les bottines, la peau d'animal sur les épaules et la panthère qui l'aide. Ici, ce n'est qu'une panthère, mais quelquefois, il y a aussi un serpent, par exemple. Et ce qui est intéressant et très caractéristique de du pouvoir général de Dionysos, même en dehors de la vie civilisée de la police, est qu'il est chasseur. Il est chasseur de panthères. C'est pour ça qu'il porte la peau de l'animal sur les épaules. Mais d'autre part, la panthère est aussi son allié. Donc, il domine le monde sauvage et défend en même temps la vie civilisée. Je pense que c'est là le clou du fait que Dionysos est resté si populaire pendant toute l'Antiquité jusqu'au commencement du christianisme. L'image la plus célèbre de la gigantomachie se trouvait de nouveau sur le Parthénon, sur le Parthénon d'Athènes. C'est la vue de l'ouest. Lorsqu'on monte sur l'acropole, on voit le fronton occidental, mais le fronton oriental était le fronton principal. Là, il y a la naissance d'Athéna avec la présence de Dionysos, comme nous avons vu, et dans les métopes que vous voyez ici, il y avait dans chaque métope, il y avait une divinité qui lutte contre un géant. Dionysos était la deuxième venant du sud, à côté de Hermès et de Arès, ou Héphaïstos, ça on sait bien. Ces métopes ont été presque complètement détruites lorsque le Parthénon a été transformé dans une église chrétienne. Mais on a assez pour comprendre comment Dionysos était représenté. Là aussi, vous avez le chiton court. Ici, c'est la reconstruction de Prachniker qui est essentiellement juste. Probablement, il avait aussi une peau d'animal. On devine quelque chose. Mais il y avait surtout une panthère dont vous voyez ici le contour. Vous voyez ici le contour à côté de la jambe de Dionysos. Vous avez, excusez-moi, le contour de la panthère. Là aussi, Dionysos est aidé par une panthère. Le Dionysos gigantomachos du Parthénon a été le modèle pour la gigantomachie du Parthénon a été le modèle pour la plus célèbre des gigantomachies que l'on connaît, celle de l'hôtel de Pergame. Vous voyez là la ville de Pergame. Ici, c'est la ville basse et ici, c'est l'acropole. Un fait important aussi, c'est que du bas, on voit très bien le théâtre de Pergame. Et le théâtre était ici, comme en Sicile, par exemple, était la forme architecturale qui annonçait la présence de Dionysos dans la ville. Donc, si une ville voulait se présenter de loin comme ville démocratique, elle plaçait son théâtre en altitude, comme dans plusieurs villes, en Sicile par exemple, et là aussi à Pergame aussi. Ici, il y a le modèle de cette acropole. Vous voyez ici l'hôtel de Pergame, le sanctuaire d'Athéna, là aussi il y a le sanctuaire de Zeus, et les habitations des rois de Pergame. Ici, la reconstruction de ce monument que, comme vous savez, est pratiquement a survécu et se trouve aujourd'hui, au moins les reliefs, se trouvent aujourd'hui à Berlin, comme vous savez. Donc la gigantomachie était représentée sur le socle, tout autour du socle. Mais il y avait une autre série de reliefs à l'intérieur de la cour qui entoure l'autel où l'on célébrait les sacrifices. Pour le visiteur, maintenant je retourne en arrière, pour le visiteur qui venait d'ici, le côté principal de l'autel était le côté est. Et au centre du côté est de cette gigantomachie, il y avait la lutte de Zeus, de Athéna, de Héra et de Héraclès sur l'autel, dans cette gigantomachie. Le visiteur entourait ensuite l'autel, le côté sud qui était dédié aux divinités de la lumière et arrivait d'ici pour monter à la cour principale. Et juste, excusez-moi, ecco. Juste là, dans cet angle ici, où le visiteur entoure le monument pour entrer dans la cour, se trouve Dionysos. Vous voyez ici les particuliers, vous voyez le détail, vous voyez ici Dionysos de nouveau avec le chiton court, avec la peau de panthère sur les épaules et la panthère qui l'aide. Vous voyez ici la jambe de la panthère. Son adversaire était un géant déjà atterré. Je vous montre ici comme... Probablement Dionysos prenait son adversaire par les cheveux. On voit ça ici dans une image sur un vase apulien du IVe siècle. C'est d'une façon analogue qu'il faut imaginer Dionysos. De l'autre côté, celle qui l'aide, là il y a aussi une inscription fragmentaire, mais qui est très probable, Sémélé. Sémélé a eu un rôle important dans les mystères dionysiaques de Pergame, par lesquels Pergamon est très célèbre dans toute l'Antiquité. C'est une présence dans la gigantomachie qui est exceptionnelle et qui est typique pour Pergame. Mais Dionysos n'était pas présent que dans la gigantomachie, il était présent aussi dans l'autre relief, celui qui entourait la cour, derrière les colonnes, derrière la colonnade, dans la paroi derrière la colonnade, il y avait une longue frise qui racontait les histoires de Téléphos. Téléphos qui était le fondateur, pour les Grecs, le fondateur de la dynastie attalide, des rois de Pergame. Il y avait plusieurs épisodes tout autour de cette cour. Au centre de cet épisode, dans l'épisode central, il y a l'apparition de Dionysos, que vous voyez ici. Une très jolie image de Dionysos. C'est Dionysos vraiment un très beau personnage qui provoque la chute de Téléphos dans sa lutte contre les héros grecs qui envahissent le territoire de Pergame. Dionysos apparaît subitement et provoque et fait croître ici entre les jambes de Téléphos une vigne. Et c'est pour ça que Téléphos bouscule, tombe, et Achille, qui arrive avec les Grecs, le blesse pour curer cette blessure, il est obligé de rentrer en Grèce et de se révéler comme fils de Héraclès. Téléphos est fils de Héraclès et donc est le fils aussi de l'héros qui a, avec l'aide duquel les dieux vainquent les géants. Et il est en même temps le fondateur de la dynastie attalide des Pergaméniens. Donc, nous voyons là une réponse au problème posé par Vernon. Comment c'est que Dionysos a pu être le patron de la police démocratique, mais après aussi du pouvoir des rois hellénistiques et après des empereurs romains. Ça s'explique par ce fait exceptionnel que Pergame était un royaume, mais était aussi une police. Du commencement, Pergame était une police et était fière de ça. Et Pergame se considérait l'Athènes d'Asie. Et les institutions politiques de la police étaient toutes présentes à Pergame. Les rois, peu à peu, avaient pris ces charges des institutions démocratiques, mais jusqu'à la fin, jusqu'au moment où Pergame est donné pratiquement aux Romains, Pergame reste une police. Donc là, nous avons le passage de la police au royaume. Et il y a un petit témoin de ce passage. Ce sont un père d'hôtel qu'on a trouvé dans une salle de culte des Dionysistae de Pergame. C'était une salle où on célébrait le culte, peut-être même les mystères dionysiaques. Et là, on a trouvé, dans les ruines de cette salle, on a trouvé deux hôtels qui étaient la décoration probablement de cette salle. La première, ils sont ils sont un pair, ils sont exactement décorés de la même façon. Ici, il y a la dédicace à Sébasto, c'est Auguste, et ici à Dionysos Kategémon, le Dionysos Kategémon, qui était le Dionysos de Pergame. Ce Dionysos de Pergame, qui avait cette double identité de patron de la police et de patron des rois, est celui qui passe dans la iconographie impériale, comme nous voyons ici. C'est une statue dont on a plusieurs copies, très grandes, copie d'un original grec en bronze des années autour de 400 avant notre ère. Et ça, ici, je le dis en parenthèse, je pense que le Dionysos des Bacchantes d'Euripide se présentait sur la scène de cette façon-là que vous voyez. De nouveau, Dionysos avec le chiton court, avec la peau d'animal, avec son tirse. Et puisque la copie en marbre avait besoin de soutien, les copies romaines, dans les copies romaines, il appuie son bras sur une figure, ici, qui est la figure de spes. Spes, c'est-à-dire l'espoir. Dionysos, gigantomachos, victorieux sur les géants, sur la subversion, est celui qui donne l'espoir du bien-être, de la prospérité, du bonheur à chacun et à la communauté. Merci bien.
Madame la professeure, le professeur, merci bien pour votre présentation très intéressante. Now we have some time for discussion, so if you have questions or remarks. Yes, please.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Jan Kozłowski, Institut de philologie classique à Varsovie. Et je n'ai rien d'ajouté, rien d'important, mais je voudrais vous remercier vraiment beaucoup pour votre lecture parce qu'elle était très dense et très claire. Et je vais retenir beaucoup des choses qui ont été exprimées d'une façon vraiment très claire. Merci. Et à retenir, comme par exemple le motif de cette gigantomachie. Ça, j'ai saisi maintenant. Pourquoi et comment? Le double caractère de la panthère, par exemple. J'ai eu cette réflexion et immédiatement après, vous avez dit ça. Ou bien sur l'imaginaire, que les images sont plus denses. Donc, je suis comme professeur, comme enseignant, très reconnaissant pour cette lecture parce qu'elle était très instructive pour moi. Merci beaucoup.
Merci à vous.
Merci, Jan. Any other questions and remarks? Yes, please, Professor Seifert.
Voilà, mon français, c'est exécrable. Bon, moi, j'ai compris tout. C'est mauvais, very clear. But could we just open up more the question, a central question, in a sense, of what you said, which was the wildness, the savagery of Dionysus as belonging to the domain of nature, panthers and so on, and his centrality at the city. This is undoubtedly the case. It's not enormously interesting. It's not how we envisage a civilized community. But I mean, this has been the object of interest for some time, but can we take it any further? I mean, why does a community need to have at its center a deity so clearly associated with the savage exterior? I mean, that should be a central question for Dionysus. Yes. And I'm not sure that we've really yet got the answer to it. There may be more that can be said, and there may be indeed, of course, different answers, but I'm keen to pose that very large question to you. I know it's almost impossible to answer it briefly, but how would you begin to answer that question?
Oui, c'est une question fondamentale, mais je pense qu'elle a été déjà éclaircie par Vernon, peut-être indirectement, mais si Dionysos est patron, se trouve au centre de la police civilisée, mais est en même temps le patron du monde sauvage, ça veut dire que le monde sauvage doit être accepté au cœur de la police, c'est-à-dire une police qui fonctionne a besoin d'occasions d'évasion, d'occasions de rupture. Par exemple, le drame, mais le symposium aussi. C'est comme chez nous le carnaval. Ce sont des institutions qui donnent l'occasion pour s'évader, pour changer son rôle normal de citoyen, pour avoir un autre rôle. Et par cette possibilité de s'évader à l'intérieur de la ville, de la cité reste stabilisée.
Yes, I mean that is something I agree with basically, but it's a rather abstract consideration of a somewhat psychological kind. I mean, this conference about politics and theology, can one not put the case more politically in the sense that Dionysus is a god who not only embodies the wild but comes from the outside. His entry from the outside is annually celebrated and enacted. And yet we know that, in a sense, he belongs to the heart of the city, and he never belonged entirely to the outside. That's a myth. And one of the features we know about, for example, Greek reconcilers and lawgivers, is that, in a sense, they cannot belong to the city. Because if they belong to the city, they will belong to a faction or a group within the city. It is only an outsider that can completely unite a community. Mm-hmm. And that's simply a fact about the Greek polis. So can we not say then that Dionysus has the virtue of the outsider politically, not just psychologically or formally, but politically has the virtue of the outsider in a symbolic way, and the virtue of the outsider is precisely that it's only by focus on the outsider that the city can be united. And here the characteristic of the Dionysiac festival, in which everybody must join in, is absolutely crucial. So I want to go beyond Vernon and have a more concrete political conception of Dionysus.
Yes. Oui, je suis absolument d'accord avec vous. C'est important ce fait que Dionysos arrive de dehors et que la communauté doit accepter cette nouveauté qui arrive de dehors. Il y a même des rituels que j'ai reconstruits. Il y a toute une série d'images de vases du 5e siècle où l'on voit Dionysos arriver avec un satyre qui porte un siège, comment dire, qui porte une chaise. Donc, Dionysos arrive, mais on lui donne une chaise. Donc, il va venir, probablement chaque année, il venait pendant les antésteries, il venait, on l'acceptait, mais il entrait dans la ville, et il n'entrait pas que dans la ville, il entrait dans chacune des maisons des Athéniens. Il était accepté par chaque famille.
Il est bienvenu.
Mm-hmm.
David. Posso porre la domanda in italiano?
Sì, senz'altro. Sì.
Sono David Errande della Fuente dell'Università di Madrid e grazie tante innanzitutto per la bellissima relazione che mi è tanto piaciuto e sono d'accordo, condivido anche l'idea del ruolo di Dioniso, il vincitore dei giganti dal punto di vista della politica, per il simbolismo politico nell'epoca classica, ellenistica, vero? Ma io mi sono occupato piuttosto della tarda antichità. E mi sembra anche che bisognerebbe aggiungere anche il ruolo di Dioniso come vincitore degli indiani, che da Alessandro, no? E mi chiedo se lei ha studiato questo rapporto fra le due immagini, voglio dire quella di Dioniso vincitore dei giganti con quella degli indiani, perché anche per gli imperatori romani è più, mi sembra che sia più importante quella, per esempio dal punto di vista del Galerio, la tetrarchia, quello di cui mi occupo io, i giganti non sono così importanti come gli indiani, come simbolo dell'impero universale, anche della della prospettiva dell'Oriente, no? Diciamo,
Sì,
no?
sì.
Non so se lei ha fatto delle ricerche su
No,
questo
non
punto.
posso solo dire che sono d'accordo con lei, che gli indiani rappresentano nell'ottica imperiale romana, rappresentano l'altra parte, come per i greci probabilmente erano i persiani, e come per gli dei erano i giganti, cioè avversari allo stesso livello, ma che vengono da fuori, che sono comunque un pericolo. Ed è importante che Dioniso possa tornare vittorioso degli indiani come era già stato vittorioso sui giganti, mi sembra logico. E in più c'è ancora l'idea della vittoria, la vittoria forse ancora più focalizzata sulla figura di Dioniso. Dioniso Gigantomachos è un Dioniso vittorioso e questo è un elemento molto importante. Grazie.
The last short question, Dariusz.
I would like to follow the idea of Professor Seaford, asking you about that concept of being strange and new. You talked about the nomothetes, but the same problem arises on the ground of theology. Because one of a consequence of a political religion of Greeks is that that what belonged to the gods was internated.
Mm-hmm.
And if the role of God is to be a kind of a foundation of a political world and the rules and all the law, you should transcend the reality to which you are in the report. So the sign in the culture which has not an idea of transcendence, need an idea of a stranger, God stranger, who do not belong to the local pantheon, but he is from outside. I mean, if not, he cannot be a fundament of a reality, because only a stranger can affirmate, but also negate rules. So that's my, let's say, theological and political together answer. So that's the way how culture who do not have an idea of transcendence is looking for something in a place of a transcendence. That's a strangeness, which is a permanent strangeness. Thank you.
Thank you, yes, okay.
Well, thank you very much for this discussion. Unfortunately, we don't have much more time. So, once again, let's thank our honorable guest and keynote speaker, Professor Cornelia Isler-Kerényi. And now it's time for our second speaker, who is Małgorzata Krawczyk. She's a member of our research team and a PhD student at Warsaw University. And she's going to give a talk entitled... Yes, of course. Well, if you prefer, you can stand there and use this remote control. Okay. It's up to you. So she's going to give a lecture give a paper entitled The Role of the Patrii in the Severan Religious Policy, the Numismatic and Epigraphic Evidence. Please.
Thank you very much. The tutelary gods of Leptis Magna, the hometown of Septimius Severus, were Liber Pater and Hercules, both Roman interpretations of Punic deities. The aim of my paper is to discuss the role of these gods in a religious policy of Severus and his sons in the light of coin and epigraphic evidence. Their importance to the emperor is attested by the joint appearance of both Liber Pater and Hercules on several coin issues minted between 194 and 210. The Septimius Severus coins from 193, especially the emissions issued in Rome, are entirely marked by a civil war with Pescennius Niger, and depicts mainly military subjects such as the Legionary Eagle and Victoria. But in 194, Liber Pater and Hercules appear together on the aurei and the denarii, sesterces and aces, which represents the same type. On the obverse, we can see the head of Septimius Severus. The reverse shows Hercules standing to the left with the club and scalp of the lion, and Liber standing to the left with the Cantaros and Thyrsos, accompanied by the panther. Similar representations can be found on the two bronze medallions from 194, where the two gods are also referred to as the auspices. It seems that in the case of the Severan the auspices, it was not all about expecting protection from Liber and Hercules, but about the divine sign they gave, an auspicium. In the same year, 3 almost identical coins of Septimius Severus were issued, on which Liber was depicted in standard way known from the coins of 194, but this time without Hercules. The obverse shows the head of Septimius Severus in a laurel wreath, and on the reverse, Liber is holding a Thyrsos and Cantaros, and is accompanied by a panther. If we take together the emissions with Liber Pater and Hercules from 194, together with the coins depicting personification of Africa, it will be possible to say that the North African origin of the emperor has become the main theme of the imperial coinage in this particular year. Both deities appears on the coins of Septimius Severus from the year 197, but this time each of them separately. Hercules received 4 issues with denominations of aureus and denarius. On the basis of the imperial acclamations, they can be dated approximately for the period between 195 and 197. On the obverse was the head of Septimius Severus. On the reverse, Hercules with club holding the bow and scalp of the lion with the legend Herculi defense. The term defensor probably refers to the protection that God provided to the emperor who just won the victory over Claudius Albinus. Parallel to these coins are 3 more coin types issued as aurei and denarii with depictions of Liber. On the obverse, the head of Septimius Severus was placed in a laurel wreath. On the reverse, we can see Liber standing in front with his hand placed on his head. He's, as always, holding the Thyrsos, and he's accompanied by the panther and the legend Libero Patrii. It is noteworthy that the gods introduced into the Severan's coinage as pair this time appear separately. Thus, it appears that in 195, Septimius Sever temporarily withdrew with references to his North African origin to emphasize his relationship with the noble gens of his predecessors, as is evidenced by his auto-adoption to the Antonin family. Liber and Hercules appeared on Severan coins again as a couple on the occasion of the inauguration of the secular games that took place in 204. The year 204 is, after all, the peak moment for Liber and Hercules in the coinage of Septimius Severus. In this year, 15 types of coins were issued with portraits of Septimius Severus, Caracalla, or Geta on the obverse, on which Liber Pater and Hercules appeared jointly. Coins were minted on the occasion of proclaiming the secular games, as indicated by the legend on the obverse, Ludus Seculares. There are 4 main types of these coins, with variants documented for the 2 Augusti, Septimius Severus and Caracalla. In this case, we have only 1 coin with the portrait of Geta. The first type, with the portrait of Septimius Severus on the obverse, represents 3 emissions of aurei, denarii, sesterces, and aces with identical reverses, on which Liber is presented with Cantaros, Tyrsos, and Panther, standing next to Hercules, depicted with a club and scalp of a lion. The same type of coin was also minted with the portrait of Caracalla on the obverse. The second type, from the year 204, corresponds to the first, but the legend differs on a coin issued as sesterces. It refers to the 2 gods as di patrii. The term di patrii can mean both local gods, which means those worshipped in Rome, or to foreign pantheon, in this case deities of Leptis Magna. In the case of Severus, we can accept the later explanation. This type was also issued by Caracalla as an ace and by Geta, but in the case of Caracalla, for Aureus, there is also known variant on which Liber Pater and Hercules has changed their places. The third main type issued on behalf of Septimius Severus is again the modification of first in its ace, with the representation of both gods, between which there is a pillar with the inscription, which is accompanied by the legend referring to the Ludus Seculares. The same type is also documented for Caracalla as an ace, but again it is a variant on which Liber Pater and Hercules has changed their places. The pillar presented here is also found on the coins of August and Domitian, minted on the occasion of their own secular games, and probably was carrying an inscription containing the text of secular acts. The fourth main type is presented on Septimius Severus Sesterces during the sacrifice of the occasion of the inauguration of the secular games, but the picture was not available, unfortunately. But we have there the goddess Tellus and the sacrificial pig, so we can assume that this was a sacrifice depicted for this goddess. In the case of coinage from year 204, it can be noticed that Liber Pater and Hercules played a special role in the celebration of the Severan dynasty and secular games, as they always appear together. Coins with the depictions of Liber and Hercules were issued again probably between 205 and 209. The extremely rare aureus of Septimius Severus, of which only one example is known, presents a group of 3 gods, but I don't have a picture of it. In the middle there is a figure of Jupiter sitting on the high throne, while on the right and left side there are Liber and Hercules with attributes characteristic for them. We are dealing in this case with a trio that is unique in the Roman art of representation, which combines the special guardian gods of Septimius Severus with the traditional guardian god of Emperor Jupiter. We can therefore conclude that the coins that were created after the celebrations of the secular games depicts two gods of Leptis Magna in a subordinate position in relation to Jupiter. In 206, two types of coins were issued on behalf of Caracalla, on which Liber Pater and Hercules were presented individually. On the reverse of the first one, Liber was shown in a panther quadriga, holding Thyrsos and Cantaros. On the other hand, we can see Hercules sitting at the table in the company of Pinarius and Potitius. And they are also accompanied by 2 or 3 servants and an altar that is probably used for sacrifice. In this case, we deal with a very rare mythological scene in Roman imperial coinage, perhaps inspired by the iconography of Roman medallions. A similar representation of Pinarius and Potitius hosting Hercules at home is known in the Roman coinage only from the bronze medallion of Antoninus Pius. I don't have pictures of these coins and this medallion. The old patrician families, Pinaria and Potitia, traditionally held an office of protectors of the cult of Hercules Invictus in Rome. And according to the legend, they were assigned to this task by Hercules himself. The unique presentation of Pinarius and Potitius was probably intended to draw the attention of the audience to the ancient beginnings of the cult of Hercules in Rome, which in turn aimed at accepting him as the dynasty god of the Severans. It is possible that this interpretation is in some way matched with the interpretation of this Aureus of Geta, also depicting a mythological scene. We can see here on the reverse Liber and Ariadna sitting to the right, accompanied by Dionysus Thiasos. The last time when Liber and Hercules appear in the coinage of Septimius Severus was the year 210. On the reverse were depicted Caracalla and Geta, both standing opposite each other and shaking their right hands in a gesture of reconciliation. Behind them there were Liber and Hercules holding laurel wreaths over their heads. There is no doubt that the Concordia of the sons of Septimius Severus was invoked in these cases, but it's not clear whether each of them was assigned to a particular god. It is clear, however, that Septimius Severus' home gods appears here as a guarant of the Concordia of his sons. After 210, we no longer see emissions with the depictions of the pair Liber Pater and Hercules in the Severan coinage. Now I will turn to the epigraphic testimony, so we will need a handout. The most important epigraphic testimony of the presence of Liber Pater in the imperial propaganda of Septimius Severus is an inscription found in Rome containing fragments of the Carmen Seculare related to the inauguration of secular games in 104. Unfortunately, as you can see on the presentation, the fragment in which the god's name was mentioned is extremely poorly preserved. Bacchus never appeared before in Roman literature in the context of the secular games, so his presence in Carmen Seculare should be explained by the special role which he played in the religious policy of Septimius Severus. It is possible that he appeared here in a company of Hercules, with whom he appears on coins minted on this occasion. That Septimius Severus succeeded in connecting the secular games with Hercules and Liber Pater is evidenced by the inscriptions from the Arabian Petra, which were probably set between 205 and 207. You have one of them on the handout under the it is the number 1. It was a related group of Latin altars, altar dedications for the health and safety or welfare of Septimius Severus, in which Liber Pater, Apollo, and Pax and Spes Temperantia were put together. In addition, other associated altars were found, but it's not clear to whom they were dedicated. The dedications were set by the governor of the province of Arabia, Quintus Aeacus Modestus. In the case of a few badly preserved inscriptions, attempts were made to reconstruct the names of the deities to which they were dedicated. The most sensible proposition assumes that Diana was among them as the sister of Apollo and Hercules as the companion of Liber. Both the mention of the gods of Leptis Magna and the patron deities of the Augustan secular games, Diana and Apollo, suggest that the group of gods was mentioned here, referring to central deities of Roman secular games. Modestus may have been in Rome in his capacity as a quindecemvir sacris faciunis during the celebration of the games before becoming governor of Arabia. He would thus have possessed an intimate knowledge of the Severan celebration and its associated ideology, which he brought with him to Arabia. What is more, in the civil war against Pescennius Niger, the province of Arabia was on the side of Septimius Severus. This could be an explanation for the positive reception of Severan ideology in the province. The epigraphic tradition, however, we find no testimonies of Septimius Severus' identification with Liber or Hercules. There are, however, inscriptions indicating the special relationship of Severan imperial house to the two gods. Thus, in North African Lambesis, an inscription was found which was set between 209 and 211, dedicated to Deo Patrio Libero Patri Conservatori Dominorum Nostrorum Augustorum. This is number 2 on our handouts. Liber Pater, the patron god of the three Augusti, is known from the coins issued throughout the empire, and the inscription proves that the coinage was received also by the people of North Africa. In Leptis Magna, both Liber Pater and Hercules appear in the inscriptions relatively often, but only one, number 3 on our handouts, only one inscription connects Liber Pater with the Lares of the Severan family. The mention of Septimius Severus and two principes in the line in the 8th line, which probably means the two Augusti, Septimius Severus and Caracalla, shows that it should be dated between 197 and 209. In the inscription, the Liber Pater, who was born of Jupiter, is called the native flower of the Severus, my son, who was born of Jupiter. That Liber Pater could have been considered as the native flower of the home city of Severus is also confirmed by other inscriptions, in which he appears as the genius of Leptis Magna. In this context, both terms, genius and lar, could have been used interchangeably. Septimius Severus is the son of Jupiter, and the same name is used for Liber Pater. This cannot be taken, however, as the syncretism of Jupiter, Liber Pater, Sol, and Septimius Severus, but it is obvious that Liber Pater was seen in Leptis Magna as the patron god or lar of Septimius Severus, and the common characteristic of the emperor and his god was being born of Jupiter. They were thus regarded as being related and compared. Naming the emperor Sol shows, however, that Liber Pater was only considered a tutelary deity of the emperor, and that despite the common characteristic of being born of Jupiter, Sol, not the Liber Pater, was the deity with whom he identified. No other inscriptions outside Leptis Magna mention Liber Pater and Hercules together in connection with the emperor. In the case of the votive altar to Liber Pater and Hercules, which is number 4 on our handout, in the case of this votive altar dedicated by Marcus Vannius Adjutor, member of the city council in Colonia Claudia Ara Agrippinianum, it is uncertain, given the urban context of the dedication, whether the altar was set up in his capacity as the curio or as a private dedication, and whether the combination of the two deities has anything to do with the religious policy of the Severan emperors. It is not impossible, given the dating and the exceptional combination of deities. The close relationship between the imperial house and Liber Pater may have been the reason for a consecration in Rome of a shrine of Liber Pater for the welfare and victory of Septimius Severus, Caracalla, and Julia Domna. This is inscription number 5. The inscription was set up between 197 and 211. From the text we learn that imperial house has even ceded land to the spire for the construction of the chapel. The term spira refers here to a group of followers of the mystery cult, probably Bacchic. Here several of them seem to have joined together. The place of consecration is called Memphis. Added to Memphis. Palmer is of the opinion that Septimius Severus, after his visit to Egypt, had a garden called Memphis added to Horti Salustiani, a religious quarter newly planned under Severan auspices. In this garden, different religious groups would have built their sanctuaries with the support of the imperial family. It should be noted that it was precisely the Bacchic associations that were very close to the emperor, which can be explained by the fact that Liber Pater was the tutelary god of Septimius Severus. For Caracalla, there are 2 epigraphic testimonies of his relationship with Liber Pater. Under the number 7, I've missed one. We have an inscription from the Hora of Thracian Philippopolis, and probably the same situation we have in the inscription from Pergamon, but the reading is very uncertain. This is a dedicatory inscription in which Caracalla is called Neos Dionysos in the 8th line. The inscription is dated between 198 and 211, and may, however, only with some precaution be taken as a manifestation of the propagation of the gods of Leptis Magna by the imperial house. The title Neos Dionysos derived from the Ptolemaic tradition and was used by the Hellenistic monarchs. It was also adopted by Mark Antony and was contrary to the Augustan ideological program. So the god in Rome for the emperor for a long time was not suitable for an association. The title Neos Dionysos is attested several times for Hadrian, Antoninus Pius, Lucius Verus, and Commodus. It appears, however, in the Roman East only in urban contexts, as in the case of inscriptions dedicated to Caracalla, and it must be seen there as a continuation or reference to the cult of Hellenistic rulers. So it seems that it cannot in any way be related to the Severan patrii. What is more, in the East, the cult of the emperor was closely connected, closely related to the Dionysiac associations. The title of Neos Dionysos, therefore, tells us something about the reception of the emperor and his cult in the Greek East, and only secondarily about the religious policy of the ruler himself. The aforementioned series of inscriptions dedicated to the predecessors of Caracalla proves that this title had nothing to do with the god of Leptis Magna, but was adopted from the Eastern Hellenistic tradition. In conclusion, the importance of the patrii to the Severan dynasty is attested by the joint appearance on Severan coin issues minted between 194 and 210. There were two peak phases in which the two deities featured prominently in Severan coinage. The first was at the very beginning of Severus' reign until he defeated Claudius Albinus in 197. Claudius Albinus also came from North Africa, and it seems that as if Septimius Severus emphasized his African descent during this early period. With his adoption into Antonine family, he drastically reduced the emissions of Hercules and Liber Pater. Thereafter, they occurred only as a single figures and no longer as a couple, which had characterized them as the deities of the emperor's provincial hometown. Hercules and Liber Pater reappeared as a couple for secular games in 204, when the Severan dynasty celebrated itself. After 205, the Leptician deities once again were depicted only as a single figures, and this time in mythological context, which do not at all relate them to Leptis Magna. Hercules is shown in a scene from a Roman myth on an aureus of Caracalla, while Liber Pater is depicted on an aureus of Geta in a Greek mythological scene with Ariadne and Dionysos. Only a handful of inscriptions link Septimius Severus and his sons to their tutelary deities outside Africa, where their worship is to be expected. The absence of Liber and Hercules elsewhere underscores the fact that their presence in Roman Tripolitania was largely a result of their role in local culture. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Małgorzata, for this interesting paper. If you study literature only, you may miss a lot of details. Your lecture shows very well. So I'm opening the discussion. Any questions, remarks? Well, yeah, Fiachra, yes, please.
Is there an iconographic precedent for, is there a numismatic iconographic precedent for the co-appearance or the conjunction of Hercules and Liber? They do appear together.
Yeah, please repeat your question.
Okay,
Sorry.
I'll repeat my question. Liber and Hercules often appear together in literature. Is there a numismatic precedent for them appearing together before the examples that you were talking about? Because I can only think of them appearing separately.
They appear together in on the coins from Thracia, especially. So they must be connected with some local traditions.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, remarks? We still have time for discussion.
Everyone is hungry. So.
Well, if I may ask you, so I'm taking this as another opportunity to discuss our matters. So you mentioned the influence the art had on coins, and I'm curious to know if you think that this aureus of Geta, this with Dionysus and his Theasos, could be also influenced by some art iconographic representations, because, for example, it made me think of these paintings from Villa dei Misteri. It looked like. Yeah.
Very poorly preserved, so we don't have a particular example of this depiction. But yes, I think that they might have they might present some scenes which were depicted elsewhere, or in paintings, or on mosaics, or even in literature. I remember that Janek Kozłowski said something that in his work he found a similar scene depicting the scene with Dionysus and Ariadne in the carriage with the Tiazos. I think you've mentioned something like this. Yes, in Catullus.
I don't remember. Maybe it was insignificant for me, just maybe.
Yeah. Well,
sorry.
Yeah, because I think that the appeal of these images was at least in some part based on the popularity of these images. So
Yes, but we don't know any examples.
Okay.
It's hard to say.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Well, if there is no more questions and remarks, now we have time for lunch, and we are going to start our second session 12:30. So now let's thank again our second speaker, Małgorzata, for this. Thank you very much, and see you soon.